So we're back with the semifinals. We've got Connor, who we saw earlier play Scam and beat Jagger. And we've got Kyle Dobinson on Rhinos. He's a fan favorite. He's been on stream a lot over the year of our tournament circuits. So some people might remember him. He top aided the 5K cash at the end of the year. And join with me in the booth today. Well, right now we've got Randall Barber, who who was first seed going into top 8 today.
Unlucky for me to get bounced in quick fashion in the quarterfinals, but lucky for all you, you get my excellent commentary now for the rest of the top 8 here.
Yeah, this matchup's really interesting because for the Scam opponent, the Scam player, they can just rip apart the Rhino's hands, and then they're just the Rhino's staring at nothing.
Not to mention, even if they resolve a Rhino's, a Scam Fury can clean it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, I've seen this matchup played once, and it went in favor of the Scam player, but I know both these players know their decks very well. Kyle has been playing Rhinos as his only deck for the past year, and he knows it extremely well.
Yeah, Kyle played his deck very well in our matchup earlier today.
So it's exciting to see Kyle make it out on stream after drawing with Randall in the 4th round, and to see where it goes from here. Any takeaways you have from the day while they're shuffling up over there?
It was really nice for me to just get out and play some paper Magic. I hadn't really played meaningful Modern since the 5K cash tournament here at the end of last year. I did come out for the teens tournament, but that was more of a casual thing for me and my friends. We were just coming out to hang out mostly, not to take the games as seriously. So this has been my first time playing any real meaningful Magic in a couple months, and I got to try out the Jeskai Value Breach deck for the first time, and I was really impressed seeing what that deck could do, and it's interesting to see how the format has transitioned the last couple months into the decks are getting more refined again. Everyone's lowering their curve, and it's looking more like Modern again since the Yorion banning.
Yeah. What do you think about Rhinos in the new meta?
I think Rhinos is a great deck. I would have played Rhinos today if I had a copy of it available to me.
Yeah.
Especially the version with the disputes in the main deck is just so well positioned against, especially in a meta game that we see here, where a lot of the people are either bringing out a deck like Murktide or Breach, where you're going to be able to really abuse those game 1 disputes, or people are just bringing out stuff like Amulet and Tron, and you're able to just use your Rhinos deck to get under them and tempo them out of the game.
I think for the first time since the start of the Modern circuit, we've had 0 Amulet players come out. I don't think I saw a single one in the field.
Wasn't Andrew Tucker, he wasn't on Amulet?
I was
switched decks.
Tucker hasn't been on Amulet for a few years. He might have played it today.
Okay.
He's been switching between the food deck and
actually, you know what? He was on Hammer. Now that I think of it,
he was on Hammer.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new one. I don't think I've seen him on Hammer. He's been really enjoying the food. He top aided a 2K a couple months ago with food. But you came 9th at the 5K, right?
I did.
You bubbled.
I bubbled. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're hoping to make it back into the 6K this year and come for that prize.
Yes. I'm gonna need a few more points though.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm about halfway there as well.
What do you get for a quarterfinals loss? Like 2?
You get 2 points for a quarterfinals.
So I'm at 3 now.
Yeah.
With my trios.
2 quarterfinals, 3 semis, 5 for second, and 10 for first.
Right. Yeah. So I've got a bit more work to do to get my way back there, but I have all summer to do, so I'm not too concerned.
It's still pretty early in the circuit this year. And there's going to be some big changes to our events in the next couple months.
Alright, so it looks like I didn't quite catch if Connor took a mulligan or not there. I think
he went to 6.
Yeah, so but he's on the play. So let's see if he has the scam here. It looks like maybe a Ragavan.
Paying the 1 to Grief Thoughtseize. That's an interesting hand for Kyle there. I think if I'm in Connor's position, I'm taking the Violent Outburst, and then when I scam, I'm taking the Shardless. Because if he bounces it back and I can scam it again, I'm pretty happy.
we do
Yeah.
have the scam here. Yeah, so this is a great start for Connor. I'm not sure what the contents of the rest of his hand is, but he's put Kyle in a super awkward position here of having to find another Cascader of only 6 left in his deck.
Yeah. So we've got a really good start for Connor there. We didn't see this earlier when he played against Burn on stream. They played 3 games and Connor didn't scam once.
No?
So to see Connor get a big early
Yeah.
scam here against Rhinos. Kyle did draw Force of Negation, so if he's able to bounce the Grief, he can protect himself from getting double scammed to
Yeah.
a sense.
Even so, though, if you're using Fawn for that protection, you're still getting
Two for one.
two for two on that exchange.
Well, yeah. If I'm Connor, I'm exactly where I want to be in this matchup.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Especially on a mulligan to 6.
Yeah, not to mention I don't know the rest of Connor's hand. If there's more gas in the tank, he's super favorable from this position.
Yeah. It'll be really good.
Oh, we're gonna see
Ooh.
the dash Ragavan here. So now Kyle's gonna have to decide where he wants the dead to go.
I think it's got to go on the Ragavan. Because there's
Oh yeah, that was the one that gives it a counter, right? So Grease a 4/3.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we know Kyle has a Brazen Borrower,
Right.
so the Grief will probably go back to hand pretty soon. But to get one more hit for 4 is pretty big.
Kyle fetching up a basic here to play around Blood Moon effects. It's a pretty heads up play.
Yeah. We one of our players is a local scam player, so I know Kyle's got a little bit of practice against it. So it's pretty big to see him remembering about the Blood Moons.
Yeah. Let's just see if it does come up and punish him at all, though. Could make his mana awkward having to fetch out basic green, but lots of steam vents into a catcher. I think we're okay.
Oh,
with
he ripped a
he found a
Shardless.
Shardless. Okay, so we got a game.
That is the actual best card he could rip. I was actually talking to Kyle after his quarterfinals match. He's on 3 Murktide, and he does not like the list.
No.
No. Which quite interesting because we've been seeing a lot of pros pop up playing this list. Like Nathan Stoyer's been playing the.
Yeah. Well, it's an innovation that was first brought to the table by Oliver to Michael, and then
Yeah.
Nathan Stoyer and Isaac. His last name's escaping me at the moment, but Bullwinkle on Moto, one of
Yeah.
the Zoomers from the States. There, he wins like every Friday Night Modern Challenge with
Yeah,
Dispute Rhinos.
Yeah,
with
there
a couple
was-
Murktides in there.
I think it was 2 weekends ago where every single modern challenge was won by Rhinos.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. But we're starting to see Live take a resurgence as well. So we'll start to see a lot more Cascade hate.
Yeah. Definitely look out for Chalice to make a re-entry into the format.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna play like the Nammer Squad's blue-white control list today with 3 Chalice main deck, but
Yeah.
our team everyone sold their Chalices
Yeah.
after 4-color got banned, so
Yeah.
we didn't have that deck.
Yeah, I'm on a blue-white right now, and I've been loving the 3
Yeah,
Chalice.
I think it's super well positioned, especially in a metagame like we see here.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hammer as well. That's probably one of the best cards that Connor could have.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to just gas up here and hopefully try to set up Fury or Scam Fury.
Yeah, a Scam Fury is pretty big, but
Yeah,
on the
it's
mulligan
very
to
hard
6,
to set up.
it's pretty rough to get going right now. And Kyle is like, just attack me with the Grief. I want to kill it. Oh, Kyle. What is that? His hand. I think that was an Endurance, but I could be wrong. I don't think he plays any main board. Oh, it's still just the Brazen Borrower. Which, I'm, at this point, putting the Grief back in hand isn't necessarily the worst play.
No, especially if Kyle knows he's gonna be out of gas on like himself. He's really not worried about Grief coming down as a 3/2 for 4.
Yeah. And then it's easier to kill with like the
Any of his shock
yeah,
effects.
any of them. Still takes 4 and loses the grief, so that's where Kyle wants to be, making trades like that.
So Connor's definitely gonna have to be able to meaningfully play to the board this turn. He's gonna be falling pretty far behind.
I think attacking here is really weird. Cause he knows Kyle has the Brazen Borrower.
Right.
Hmm. I wonder what Connor has in his hand. Because if he lets Kyle resolve the Brazen Borrower and then untap to his turn, Kyle now has Force and Negation backup as well.
Yeah.
So Connor has to kill one of those Rhinos right now, or else it's gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah, so if he goes borrower, well, there's no place there on the end stuff. Okay.
I think they're both players are trying to play very safe.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I think there's an argument to just run it out there.
Yeah. Well, I think from Kyle's position, it does make sense for him to not do anything because he is ahead on this board. But for Connor to not do anything that turn is a little awkward.
I think the reason Connor attacked there was I think I saw a Feign Death in hand. So if Dobinson offered the trade, Connor would have been able to get back in the game possibly with a grief or a fury.
Yeah, because if you feign death your spiral, you're gonna get that trigger again,
yeah, it's gonna be a 3/3.
Yeah. So maybe that's Connor just saying with his hand that's his only play to win is to get the block there.
But at the same time, if he just held it back, he could have got the block and he could have blocked and done it on his opponent's turn, which I think might have been the better play.
Looks like we're gonna see Kyle be able to clean things up here if he just puts that borrower into play.
Yeah, he's got the mana to be able to do it. So,
well, did fetch his forest earlier. But yeah, Connor only has swamp up, so Kyle doesn't even have to worry about going to 3 here. He can't die to a bolt.
yeah, the only thing that
Oh, he has a basic mountain anyway. So
yeah, the only thing that possibly could matter, is if Connor has like a fatal push.
Right.
But it was a Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize.
So we see Kyle take a really quick game 1.
Yeah, and that was interesting because we saw how well positioned Connor was after that turn 1 scam, but it just goes to show the consistency and resiliency of the Rhinos deck to play 8 copies of your namesake.
Yeah. To be able to cascade off 8 different cards is just crazy. And now Kyle gets to bring in 4 endurances to be able to prevent the scam.
Yes, that is going to be huge.
It's going to be a pretty big, it's going to be an interesting game too. Because something I don't know is if normal with other Rhinos lists, but Kyle runs Gemstone Caverns in the sideboard.
Yeah.
So he can set up with the Gemstone Caverns like pretty early on. Well, not pretty early on. He could put a Gemstone Caverns into play on turn 0 and get in there pretty well.
Yeah, that's another point of that kind of new wave Rhinos version we've seen with the Disputes main and a couple of Murktides. They've even had a gemstone in the main sometimes when you lose the die roll and then have your second one in the board.
Yeah, Kyle's list has 2 if I'm remembering correctly from when you guys played earlier, he had 2 Gemstone Caverns main and 1 side.
Okay, so yeah,
he's pretty heavy on the gemstones.
And with a deck like Rhinos, you can mulligan fairly aggressively into those nut hands, although you might be a little hesitant to do so against the Grief Thoughtseize deck.
Yeah, for Kyle's win it in, he played against Michael Yasher, who's playing 4-color elementals.
Okay,
and Kyle mulliganed to 5, put a gemstone in play turn 1, and then rolled him.
Yeah, just had the 10 power on turn 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty hard for 4-color to come back from that, especially since the Yorion banning, you just have you don't have room for the tutor package anymore. You can't just go and get whatever you need for a certain situation. You do have to draw into it.
Depends how funky you're feeling, because some people are still on that 75 card pile.
Some people are just jamming it edge without the Yorion.
I'm pretty sure it was I want to say Respect the Cat who like helped popularize that list.
Oh yeah, because he won that like Grand Prix event over in Europe.
Yeah, he won that one with Karuga.
Oh right, that was 60 card Karuga, yeah, but he was still playing.
Before that, he was testing 75 or like between 60 and 75, 70 and 75 card Yorion-less 4-color.
Very interesting. I'm not sure what Connor has specifically, but just looking at what we can expect here, I'm gonna say probably at least a couple engineered explosives to clean up those rhinos we're gonna have access to, in addition to potentially I don't know if Connor has this one, but the
Hitasugu consumes all.
Yeah,
yes,
that could be a pretty sweet
looking
one
at
too.
Connor's list earlier when he played, he definitely had those in there. So it does some pretty funky stuff.
Yeah, it's another good answer to rhinos.
It also can sometimes shut him down a little bit with exile in his own graveyard.
That's true.
But at that point in the game, if you're Hitasugu and consuming all, like you're normally winning against rhinos.
I don't know if Connor has them, but this might be a matchup where I'm interested in the Shield Rid. It just seems super hard to answer from Kyle's side. Like it survives a Fury.
Yeah, he wasn't on it when we saw his list earlier.
Okay.
This is semifinals Polar Whiskey. Kyle is up game, and I think he was higher seed. No, he was lower seed.
No, we saw Connor on the play that game.
Yeah. But we're seeing them finish up their sideboard and shuffling up for game 2. We actually saw in last month's 2K, Kyle was in this exact position, but in the Rhinos mirror match. So we'll see if Kyle can win this time. He lost last time, so I'm pretty sure I saw him side out a basic island.
That's generally indicates when you want to bring those gemstones
Yeah.
in. You take out your worst land.
It looked like there was a basic island and a Misty he cut. So it looks like he just cut a land in general.
Yeah.
On top of adding a land.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely something that people have done on the draw in the past among all sorts of different formats and decks.
Yeah. Kyle was talking to his quarterfinals opponent who's on the Rhinos mirror, and he was saying that if he plays the mirror, he will always take the draw because of Gemstone Cavern.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Dale, who's also in the top 4, just off feature match, and he played, I don't know, it might have just been actual Kyle, or it might have been someone else in the room, but he played someone earlier in this tournament in a Rhinos mirror where they offered the same rhetoric. And
yeah, that was Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me he did the same thing to Daryl.
Yeah. And then Dale said he ended up doing it in game 3, just kind of on the fly, decided he liked the thinking.
It depends
to the philosophy.
Depends how many Gemstone Caverns are.
Right. Yeah, if you only have one, it would definitely be foolhardy, but
No Gemstone Caverns from Kyle. Really? Doesn't even play a land.
So no scam.
But it's still just a good turn 1 play.
Yep. Yeah, it makes you wonder what Connor kept though.
Maybe he has another scam?
Would you not just like go land Thoughtseize and hold your grief to try to find a scam?
It depends. Like
certainly he didn't keep a no lander.
No, I can't see Connor doing that. He could just have land do it again. That's a pretty good reason to.
Yep.
Oh my god.
No, that's quite the draw.
That is Kyle. The top deck you needed.
That's what punishes this line of play.
That was probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, drawing an answer to Ragavan there is pretty nuts.
Yeah, now if Connor's got nothing going on, it's looking pretty good for Kyle. Kyle just drew an endurance. There, he's got everything he needs to be able to stop getting scammed.
Yeah, heads up play there, not even worrying about suspending the footfalls, realizing that the endurance drawn for turn has more value as a pitch than having a footfalls come down 4 turns from now.
Yeah.
Kyle's gonna be able to bank those two in his hand until Connor finally does set up another scam, only to realize the scam's not gonna go through.
Yeah, and then Kyle's just gonna.
Kyle has the inevitability to just draw some Rhino creators at some point.
Dash to
Right,
Ragavan, which is pretty decent.
And there goes one of the Cascaders Kyle was looking for.
Well, Kyle has a Shardless in hand.
Oh yeah, that's
that
right.
was seen in the turn 1 grief, but Connor didn't want to take that. He valued the force of negation over the Shardless, which might be incorrect. We might just see Kyle just windmill slam this Shardless.
Yeah. I mean, definitely makes sense to just jam it here. I don't know what you'd be worried about. I'm a little confused on why Fawn was the grab and not
The
Shardless. I'm assuming Connor's gonna have an EE on 0 next turn to be able to come in and clean this up. Otherwise, I'll have a hard time to understand what's going on.
I saw a Fury in Connor's hand.
Okay.
So if he has
he's trying to set
the
up the
scam,
Fury,
but there's an endurance.
Crashing Footfalls is gonna foil that plan.
Yeah, it's gonna
You'll
ruin
get
it.
to kill one Rhino, but
Which is still good, but
still staring down 6 power.
6 power is still pretty brutal when you don't really have a whole lot going.
Yeah.
Connor's got a really tough play to think about here. Whether the Fury scam is worth it, if he has it.
Yeah.
Or whether he has the EE or what he has here.
I think if you had EE, you would just do that. Oh.
Blood Moon's brutal.
I think that's just a little too late here.
Yeah, you're going down to 6 this turn.
Yeah.
Unless you were willing to pitch cast a Fury just to kill one Rhino.
Not sure what Blood Moon's doing in there, to be honest. I know this is a Blood Moon deck itself a lot of the time.
Yeah, but sometimes they can get punished with how they fetch.
Yeah, like this game it would have been great if there wasn't already 10 power on the board.
Yeah. He's valuing the dash of the monkey to get the treasure?
Unless we see land into EE, it looks like.
Fury scam doesn't do it.
No. Yeah, it looks like that's what we're gonna see here is a Fury scam.
Oh, there's a bolt in Connor's hand.
Okay, so he can go to 2 here.
Yeah, but then
we're still not playing to win though.
Yeah, Kyle has a Fury in his hand. So it's just like it's just lethal regardless. And then he still has the everything he needs in case of a Fury scam.
Right. Yeah, we're still just sitting on endurance
Wow.
and footfalls.
That was a very fast
Yeah.
semifinals match.